Hello guys, stop doubting yourself. You must understand something fundamental about the nature of doubt. It's not your enemy, but it is a force that can paralyze you if left unchecked. Self-doubt isn't a unique condition, it's a universal experience. It whispers to all of us, casting shadows over our ambitions and capabilities. But the real question is not whether you feel doubt, it's whether you let it dictate your actions. First, let's tackle why doubt exists. Doubt is born from uncertainty, and uncertainty stems from the unknown. When you approach something unfamiliar, whether it's a new opportunity, a challenging goal, or even a relationship, your mind seeks to protect you by raising concerns about your competence. But this mechanism, while protective, is also limiting. It's a gatekeeper standing between who you are now and who you could become. If you only act when you feel fully capable, you'll never act. This is because full capability isn't something you start with, it's something you develop through action. Think about that for a moment. Growth doesn't occur when you sit comfortably within your current limitations. It occurs when you stretch yourself beyond what feels safe, when you grapple with your doubts and take a step forward anyway. But to take that step, you must detach your sense of self-worth from your feelings of doubt. Feelings are not facts. The fact that you doubt yourself doesn't mean you're incapable. It means you're human. What truly matters is not whether you feel confident in the moment, but whether you're willing to act despite the doubt. Courage, after all, is not the absence of fear or hesitation, it's the determination to act in their presence. So how do you break free from the grip of doubt? Start by clarifying your aim. A person adrift without a clear goal is far more susceptible to doubt. Define what you want to achieve and why it matters to you. Once you have that, break it into smaller, manageable parts. Tackle one piece at a time. Every small victory you earn is a vote of confidence in your ability to handle the next challenge. Understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a critical part of it. No skill, no accomplishment, no transformation ever came without failure along the way. The most successful people in any domain didn't succeed because they never doubted themselves. They succeeded because they acted despite their doubts and learned from every misstep. In the end, your choice is simple but profound. You can either be a prisoner of your doubt or a student of your potential. And the only way to find out what you're truly capable of is to try. So stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect feeling. Take responsibility for your growth, commit to the process, and move forward one step at a time. You'll find that with each step, your doubt diminishes and your confidence grows. And that is how you transform not just your circumstances, but yourself. Doubt is a pervasive force that seeps into the corners of your mind, often presenting itself when you least expect it. It tells you that you aren't good enough, that you lack the skills, or that you're destined to fail. While it may seem like doubt is an inherent part of who you are, it's crucial to understand that it often arises from a single source, the avoidance of responsibility. When you shy away from responsibility, you surrender control over your circumstances, allowing doubt to fill the vacuum. In contrast is a powerful antidote to doubt. When you take responsibility for something, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, you assert control over a piece of the world. That act of control doesn't just shape the external environment, it reshapes your internal world. You begin to see yourself as someone capable of managing challenges, solving problems, and creating change. This self-perception is the bedrock of confidence. Consider this: when you refuse to take responsibility, you send a message to yourself that you are incapable or unworthy of handling what life throws your way. This message becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and amplifying doubt. On the other hand, when you accept responsibility, you engage with the world actively rather than passively. Even if you don't feel prepared or qualified, the mere act of stepping up begins to dismantle the narrative of self-doubt. Responsibility is not about perfection, it's about participation. Let's apply this concept to a real-world scenario. Imagine you're assigned a leadership role at work and you feel overwhelmed. Doubt creeps in, whispering that you lack the experience to lead effectively. If you succumb to this doubt and avoid taking charge, the situation likely spirals out of control, confirming your initial fear. But if you choose to embrace the responsibility, even imperfectly, something remarkable happens. You begin to learn through the act of doing. Each decision, mistake, and correction strengthens your ability to manage the role. The responsibility you once feared becomes the vehicle through which you grow. The relationship between responsibility and doubt can also be observed in daily habits. Let's say you wake up to a cluttered room. Leaving the mess unattended is a subtle but significant act of avoiding responsibility. It signals to your subconscious that the disorder is beyond your capacity to address, even though the task itself is manageable. The clutter becomes a metaphor for all the areas in life where you feel powerless. Now, contrast this with the act of tidying up. It's a small responsibility, yet taking it on has a profound psychological impact. You've confronted chaos and imposed order, proving to yourself that you have the ability to make a difference, even in minor ways. This reinforces a sense of agency and diminishes doubt, one small victory at a time. Taking responsibility also requires an honest acknowledgement of where you are falling short. It's easy to blame external circumstances or other people when things go wrong, but this only strengthens doubt. Blame shifts the focus away from what you can control and places it on factors beyond your reach. Responsibility, however, brings clarity. When you accept your role in a situation, you gain the power to influence it. For example, if you struggle with fitness, it's tempting to attribute your challenges to genetics, time constraints, or other external factors. While these may be valid considerations, they don't define the full picture. When you take responsibility, you recognize that consistent effort, discipline, and small changes are within your control. Each workout, however small, becomes a triumph over doubt. This principle doesn't only apply to personal development, it extends to relationships, careers, and society at large. In relationships, for instance, doubt often arises from unmet expectations or unresolved conflicts. Blaming the other person may provide temporary relief, but it doesn't solve the underlying issue. Taking responsibility for your part in the dynamic, whether it's a failure to communicate, a lack of empathy, or unspoken assumptions, creates the space for growth and understanding. In turn, this diminishes doubt about the relationship's potential because you've chosen to actively engage with its challenges rather than retreating into inaction. Also brings with it a sense of meaning and purpose. Doubt thrives in an environment of aimlessness, where you feel disconnected from a larger goal or value system. By shouldering responsibility, you align your actions with something greater than yourself. This alignment provides a guiding principle, reducing the chaos and uncertainty that fuel doubt. Whether it's committing to a career goal, supporting a loved one, or contributing to your community, the act of taking responsibility anchors you in a sense of direction. It doesn't mean overburdening yourself or taking on every problem. It means discerning what is within your capacity to influence and acting decisively in those areas. By focusing on what you can control, you begin to realize that your actions matter. This realization erodes the power of doubt over time. Self-doubt often stems from an unwillingness to engage with responsibility. By taking responsibility for even the smallest aspects of your life, you create opportunities to demonstrate competence and develop confidence. It's not about eliminating doubt entirely, that's an impossible standard, but about building a foundation strong enough to withstand it. When you embrace responsibility, you don't just confront doubt, you transcend it. Growth is a process that is inherently uncomfortable, and this discomfort is often misunderstood. People tend to view it as a signal that something is wrong, that they are unprepared, or that they should stop. However, discomfort is not a sign of failure, it is an inevitable part of development. If you understand and accept this, you can reframe your relationship with growth and reduce the power doubt holds over you. The process of growth requires confronting your limitations. When you try something new, whether it's learning a skill, pursuing a goal, or stepping into an unfamiliar role, you will inevitably face your own inadequacies. This confrontation is uncomfortable because it exposes the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Yet this gap is not evidence of your inability to grow, it is the very terrain you must traverse to achieve progress. The tension you feel in these moments is not a signal to retreat, it is proof that you are stepping beyond your current boundaries, which is the essence of growth. Doubt often emerges in this context because your mind resists uncertainty. It seeks familiarity and predictability, even if that means staying in a situation where you are unfulfilled or stagnant. Growth, by its very nature, requires stepping into the unknown, and this can be intimidating. Doubt whispers that you are unprepared, that you might fail, or that you don't belong. It's important to recognize that these thoughts are not truths, they are reactions to uncertainty. If you give them undue weight, they will hold you back. But if you understand them as part of the growth process, you can learn to navigate through them. Growth also challenges your self-image. People often define themselves based on their current abilities, experiences, and roles. When you attempt something outside this framework, it feels as though you're stepping into uncharted territory. This can create an identity crisis of sorts, where you question whether you are the kind of person who can succeed in this new domain. But growth isn't about who you are now, it's about who you are becoming. You must allow yourself to evolve, recognizing that your current self is not the final version of who you can be. The discomfort of challenging your self-image is a sign that you are stretching beyond your previous limits. One of the most powerful ways to understand growth is to view it as a journey of incremental improvement rather than a leap to perfection. Many people become overwhelmed by the gap between their current state and their ultimate goal. This can lead to paralysis, as the task seems too monumental to tackle. But growth doesn't happen all at once, it happens in small, consistent steps. Each small victory builds on the last, gradually closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. By focusing on these incremental gains, you can maintain momentum even in the face of doubt. Mistakes and setbacks are also integral to the growth process. People often view failure as a sign that they should give up, but this perspective is fundamentally flawed. Failure is not the opposite of growth, it is a crucial part of it. When you fail, you gain valuable information about what doesn't work, which guides you toward what does. Each setback is an opportunity to refine your approach and strengthen your resilience. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it as an inevitable and necessary step on the path to improvement. Doubt will lose much of its power when you no longer see failure as something to avoid, but rather as something to learn from. The discomfort of growth also serves as a reminder of what's at stake. If the process were easy, it would lack meaning. The very challenges that make growth difficult are what make the results worthwhile. When you push through discomfort, you earn a sense of accomplishment that cannot be replicated through avoidance or inaction. This sense of achievement reinforces your belief in your ability to handle future challenges, creating a positive feedback loop that diminishes doubt over time. To grow effectively, it's essential to cultivate patience. Modern society often glorifies quick results and instant gratification, which can make the slow, steady nature of genuine growth feel frustrating. However, lasting progress requires time and sustained effort. By accepting this reality, you can set realistic expectations for yourself and avoid becoming discouraged when results aren't immediate. Patience allows you to stay committed to the process, even when doubt arises. It's also important to surround yourself with the right influences. The people, environments, and information you expose yourself to can either support or hinder your growth. Seek out individuals who encourage you to challenge yourself and who model the kind of growth mindset you want to adopt. A supportive community can provide perspective, motivation, and reassurance during moments of doubt. Conversely, limiting your exposure to negative or discouraging influences can prevent unnecessary setbacks. Finally, growth is not a destination, it's an ongoing process. There will never be a point where you have learned everything or achieved all your goals. Each stage of growth reveals new opportunities and challenges, keeping the cycle in motion. This is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. The continuous nature of growth ensures that life remains dynamic, meaningful, and full of potential. Understanding the nature of growth is essential to overcoming doubt. When you recognize that discomfort, failure, and uncertainty are inherent parts of the process, you can approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and resilience rather than fear. Growth is not about avoiding difficulty, it's about facing it head-on and using it as a catalyst for transformation. By embracing this reality, you not only diminish doubt, but also unlock your capacity to achieve things you once thought impossible. Recognizing your potential is one of the most transformative realizations you can have, yet it is often clouded by doubt and fear. Most people underestimate what they are capable of because they view themselves through the narrow lens of their current circumstances, skills, and experiences. However, your potential is not defined by where you are today. It is a vast reservoir of untapped possibilities waiting to be explored and realized. The challenge lies in shifting your perspective to see yourself not as a fixed entity, but as a work in progress, constantly evolving and capable of achieving far more than you imagine. The first step in recognizing your potential is understanding that it is not static. You are not confined to the talents or knowledge you were born with, nor are you limited by past failures or setbacks. Potential is dynamic and grows as you take action, learn, and adapt. This means that who you are today is only a snapshot of what you could become if you commit to growth. Viewing yourself in this way opens up a world of possibilities, where every skill you develop and every experience you gain adds to your capabilities. Doubt often obscures your potential because it focuses on your perceived limitations. It convinces you that you lack the intelligence, talent, or resources to succeed. But these limitations are rarely as fixed as they appear. They are often temporary obstacles that can be overcome with effort, creativity, and persistence. For example, if you believe you aren't good at public speaking, this isn't a permanent trait, it's simply an area where you have not yet developed confidence or skill. With practice, preparation, and exposure, you can transform this weakness into a strength. Recognizing your potential means acknowledging that your current limitations are not the end of the story, they are simply challenges to be addressed. Another barrier to recognizing your potential is the tendency to compare yourself to others. Social comparison can be paralyzing, especially in a world where we are constantly exposed to the achievements of others through social media and other platforms. It's easy to look at someone who is more successful or skilled and conclude that you'll never measure up. However, this perspective is deeply flawed because it ignores the unique path you are on. Your potential is not about being better than others, it's about being the best version of yourself. The achievements of others should inspire you, not diminish your belief in your own capabilities. Every individual has their own timeline, and progress is not a race but a personal journey. Recognizing your potential also involves stepping away from perfectionism. Many people hesitate to pursue their goals because they feel they need to be perfect before they can even begin. This mindset is a trap that keeps you stagnant, as perfection is an unattainable standard. Your potential doesn't require you to be flawless, it requires you to be willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, and willing to learn. Each attempt you make, no matter how imperfect, moves you closer to realizing your potential. Over time, these imperfect efforts accumulate into meaningful progress, revealing a version of yourself you couldn't have imagined at the start. Your potential is also closely tied to the stories you tell yourself. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, or not deserving of success, these narratives become self-fulfilling. The way you perceive yourself shapes your actions, and your actions shape your reality. To recognize your potential, you must challenge these limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do and what you're willing to learn. Shift your internal dialogue to reflect possibility and growth rather than limitation and fear. Taking action is one of the most powerful ways to uncover your potential. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect set of circumstances before they act. But potential is not something you discover through waiting, it's something you uncover through doing. Each step you take, no matter how small, reveals more of what you're capable of. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Even when you encounter obstacles, the very act of facing them expands your capacity and strengthens your belief in what you can achieve. Another important aspect of recognizing your potential is surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and support your growth. The right environment can have a profound impact on your self-perception. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who challenge you to grow and who see possibilities in you that you may not yet see in yourself. Their encouragement and perspective can act as a mirror, reflecting back your potential in a way that helps you believe in it. At the same time, distance yourself from those who consistently doubt you or undermine your confidence. While constructive criticism is valuable, constant negativity can stifle your growth and make it harder to recognize your potential. Lastly, recognizing your potential requires a long-term perspective. Growth and achievement rarely happen overnight. It's easy to underestimate what you can accomplish in a year, 5 years, or a decade because the changes happen incrementally. But when you consistently invest in yourself, whether through learning, skill building, or pursuing meaningful goals, the results compound over time. This cumulative effect can lead to transformations that far exceed what you thought was possible. By staying committed to the process and trusting in your ability to grow, you unlock potential that may have seemed out of reach. In recognizing your potential, you take the first step toward a life that is not constrained by doubt or fear. You begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of adapting, learning, and achieving. This shift in mindset is not just empowering, it's life-changing. Your potential is vast, but it requires belief and action to be realized. When you embrace this truth, you not only discover what you're capable of, but also inspire others to do the same. One of the most pervasive reasons people hesitate, doubt themselves, or give up altogether is an unrealistic pursuit of perfection. The belief that every action must be flawless and every outcome must meet an ideal standard can be paralyzing. Imperfection, however, is not a weakness or failure. It is a natural and inevitable part of any endeavor. Learning to tolerate imperfection is a transformative skill that allows you to move forward, embrace challenges, and grow beyond your current limitations. At the heart of perfectionism lies a fear of failure. Many people associate imperfection with inadequacy, thinking that any sign of weakness or mistake reflects poorly on their worth or abilities. This mindset creates a cycle of avoidance. If you are afraid of failing, you might avoid trying altogether, convincing yourself that it's better not to attempt something than to risk doing it imperfectly. But this avoidance does not protect you, it stifles your growth. It leaves you stuck in a place where your potential remains untapped, and your self-doubt is reinforced. Imperfection is not a reflection of your inadequacy, it is evidence that you are engaging with the process of growth. When you try something new or challenging, it is unrealistic to expect mastery from the outset. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall repeatedly, sometimes clumsily, but each fall is a step toward coordination and strength. The child does not stop trying because they fall because they are trying. The same principle applies to you. Your mistakes and imperfections are not failures, they are stepping stones on the path to competence and eventual mastery. The fear of imperfection often stems from how we perceive others. In today's world, especially with the rise of social media, it's easy to compare yourself to others who appear to excel effortlessly. You might see someone's polished performance, pristine achievement, or seemingly perfect life and conclude that you fall short. What you don't see, however, are the struggles, failures, and imperfections that led to those successes. No one achieves greatness without moments of difficulty and imperfection along the way. Recognizing this can help you reframe your perception of imperfection as a natural part of the process, rather than something to avoid or be ashamed of. When you learn to tolerate imperfection, you free yourself from the burden of unrealistic expectations. Instead of focusing on being flawless, you can focus on making progress. Progress, after all, is the true measure of growth. Consider any skill or endeavor you've undertaken. Whether it's learning a language, improving your fitness, or advancing in your career, your progress likely came not from doing everything perfectly, but from consistently showing up, trying and improving over time. Perfection is static and unattainable. Progress is dynamic and achievable. Tolerating imperfection also allows you to take risks and explore opportunities that you might otherwise avoid. If you're unwilling to be imperfect, you limit yourself to situations where you already excel, which prevents you from growing. Risk inherently involves uncertainty and the possibility of error, but it is also where the greatest rewards are found. When you step outside your comfort zone, you encounter new challenges that force you to adapt and expand your capabilities. In these moments, imperfection is not a sign of failure. It is a signal that you are pushing your boundaries and engaging with opportunities for growth. Moreover, embracing imperfection fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and even the best laid plans encounter obstacles. If you demand perfection from yourself, you set yourself up for frustration and disappointment when things inevitably go awry. But when you accept imperfection, you develop the flexibility to adapt and persevere. You learn to view setbacks not as insurmountable problems, but as temporary challenges to overcome. This mindset equips you to face difficulties with confidence and creativity rather than retreating into doubt or despair. A crucial aspect of tolerating imperfection is separating your self-worth from your performance. You are not defined by your mistakes or shortcomings. It's easy to conflate who you are with what you do, but this perspective is limiting and counterproductive. Your worth as a person is intrinsic and does not depend on achieving a flawless outcome. When you internalize this truth, you free yourself to take action without the fear of imperfection undermining your confidence. To cultivate a tolerance for imperfection, start by reframing your goals. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress, learning, or effort. For instance, if you're giving a presentation, focus on delivering your message effectively rather than obsessing over every word being perfect. If you're working on a creative project, prioritize expressing your ideas over achieving a flawless result. This shift in focus allows you to take action and build momentum, which is far more valuable than being paralyzed by the pursuit of an impossible standard. Another practical step is to reflect on past successes and recognize the imperfections within them. Think about a time when you achieved something meaningful. Was it perfect? Likely not. Were there moments of uncertainty, trial and error, or adjustments along the way? Almost certainly. These imperfections did not diminish the value of your accomplishment, they were an integral part of it. Acknowledging this can help you appreciate the role of imperfection in future endeavors. In tolerating imperfection, you create the freedom to grow, learn, and achieve. You let go of the unrealistic expectation that you must always excel flawlessly and instead embrace the reality that imperfection is a natural and valuable part of the process. This mindset does not lower your standards, it allows you to pursue your goals with courage and persistence. Ultimately, it is not perfection that leads to success, but the willingness to act, adapt, and persevere, imperfections and all. When you learn to tolerate imperfection, you unlock your potential and free yourself from the grip of doubt, allowing you to move forward with clarity and confidence. The idea of taking small, consistent steps may seem underwhelming compared to grand gestures or bold leaps, but it is one of the most powerful principles for overcoming doubt and achieving meaningful progress. Many people become paralyzed when faced with significant challenges or lofty goals because the gap between where they are and where they want to be feels insurmountable. Doubt creeps in, whispering that the task is too daunting or that success is too far out of reach. The truth, however, is that even the most monumental achievements are the result of steady, incremental progress. By focusing on small, consistent steps, you can transform overwhelming tasks into manageable actions, build momentum, and move closer to your aspirations without becoming consumed by self-doubt. The power of small steps lies in their accessibility. A massive goal, such as writing a book, starting a business, or achieving a fitness milestone, can feel intimidating when viewed in its entirety. But when broken down into smaller components, each step becomes doable. For instance, instead of thinking about completing an entire book, focus on writing a single page today. Instead of worrying about building a successful business, concentrate on identifying one product idea or contacting one potential client. These smaller actions feel less overwhelming, making it easier to take the first step. And taking the first step is often the most significant barrier to progress. Once you begin, the path ahead becomes clearer, and momentum starts to build. Consistency amplifies the impact of small steps. A single action might seem inconsequential, but repeated over time, its effects compound into meaningful results. Consider the example of physical fitness. Doing one workout won't transform your health, but exercising regularly, even for short periods, can lead to significant improvements in strength, endurance, and overall well-being. The same principle applies to other areas of life, from learning a new skill to saving money. Consistency turns small efforts into powerful habits that drive sustained progress. When you commit to showing up every day, even in a modest way, you create a foundation for long-term success. Taking small steps also reduces the fear of failure. Grand gestures and high-stakes decisions carry a significant risk of falling short, which can trigger doubt and hesitation. In contrast, smaller actions feel less risky because their immediate consequences are limited. This lower barrier to entry makes it easier to take action despite uncertainty or fear. Additionally, if a small step doesn't go as planned, the setback is more manageable, and you can quickly adjust your approach without feeling defeated. This resilience allows you to maintain forward momentum and continue building confidence in your ability to make progress. Doubt often thrives on the illusion of perfection, the idea that you must have everything figured out before you start. Small steps challenge this notion by allowing you to learn and adapt as you go. Each step provides valuable feedback that informs your next move. For example, if you're learning a new skill, practicing even imperfectly helps you identify areas for improvement and refine your approach. Over time, these iterative adjustments lead to mastery. The process of taking small steps reinforces the idea that you don't need to be perfect to begin, you simply need to be willing to try. Another benefit of small, consistent steps is that they build momentum. Momentum is a powerful force that propels you forward and makes it easier to sustain effort over time. Each small accomplishment reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed, creating a positive feedback loop that encourages you to keep going. For instance, if your goal is to improve your financial situation, saving a small amount each week might seem insignificant at first. But as your savings grow, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that motivates you to continue the habit. This momentum can carry you through periods of doubt or difficulty, keeping you focused on your long-term goals. Taking small steps also cultivates patience and a long-term perspective. In a world that often prioritizes instant gratification, it's easy to become discouraged when progress feels slow. However, meaningful growth takes time. By focusing on small, consistent actions, you shift your mindset from expecting immediate results to valuing steady improvement. This perspective helps you stay committed to your goals even when progress isn't immediately visible. Over time, the cumulative effect of your efforts becomes undeniable, and you achieve results that once seemed impossible. One of the most transformative aspects of taking small steps is the way it reshapes your self-image. Each action you take reinforces your identity as someone who is capable, disciplined, and resilient. If you consistently show up for yourself, even in small ways, you begin to see yourself as someone who follows through on commitments and overcomes challenges. This shift in self-perception is crucial for overcoming doubt because it replaces the narrative of I can't with I can and I am. Small, consistent steps also align with the principle of focusing on what you can control. When pursuing a goal, it's easy to become fixated on outcomes that are beyond your influence, such as external recognition or market conditions. This focus on uncontrollable factors can breed anxiety and doubt. In contrast, small steps keep your attention on the actions you can take right now. By concentrating on what's within your control, you reduce feelings of helplessness and empower yourself to keep moving forward, regardless of external circumstances. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and it continues with one step after another. Each small, consistent action moves you closer to your goals and builds the confidence and skills needed to achieve them. By embracing this approach, you overcome the paralysis of doubt and create a sustainable path to success. Small steps may seem humble, but their cumulative power is extraordinary. When you commit to them, you unlock the potential within yourself to achieve things that once seemed beyond reach. The environment you create and the people you allow into your life play a crucial role in shaping your mindset, confidence, and ability to overcome doubt. While internal resilience and self-belief are essential, they are significantly influenced by external factors. Surrounding yourself with supportive influences, whether they are people, ideas, or environments, provides the encouragement, perspective, and strength needed to counteract self-doubt and foster growth. Supportive influences begin with the people you choose to spend time with. Relationships have a profound impact on how you view yourself and what you believe is possible. Supportive individuals lift you up, encourage your dreams, and help you navigate challenges with compassion and understanding. They see potential in you that you might not yet see in yourself and remind you of your strengths when you feel unsure. These individuals can be mentors, friends, family members, or colleagues, but what sets them apart is their belief in your ability to grow and succeed. They provide constructive feedback when necessary, but always with the intent of helping you improve, not tearing you down. In contrast, negative or unsupportive influences can amplify self-doubt and hinder progress. These might be people who constantly criticize, belittle your ambitions, or project their own insecurities onto you. While it's important to be open to constructive criticism, chronic negativity is counterproductive and can erode your confidence over time. Recognizing and distancing yourself from such influences is an essential step in creating an environment conducive to growth. This doesn't mean cutting ties indiscriminately, but it does mean setting boundaries to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Supportive influences are not limited to people. They also include the environments you inhabit and the information you consume. Your surroundings can either inspire you or drain your energy depending on how they are structured. A cluttered, chaotic space may contribute to feelings of overwhelm, while an organized, intentional environment can promote focus and clarity. Similarly, the media, books, and content you engage with shape your mindset. Consuming stories of resilience, success, and perseverance can motivate and empower you.